Hey, I shouldn't be telling you this, but if you skip this part of the video, you will miss out on the deal of a lifetime. If you click the link in the description, you will see that Atlas VPN are giving out an offer to get a 3-year subscription for just $1.83 per month. That's less than Netflix's latest price increase. Plus, it comes with 3 months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's the best VPN on the market, and you can use it to watch shows that are not available on streaming services in your country. So you can watch Friends on UK Netflix, no matter where you are in the world, as long as you have a subscription to Netflix. You can even use it on unlimited devices, so everyone in your house can watch Friends on UK Netflix at once. And they keep your searches private, so that we'll all finally stop spying on you. But remember, time is of the essence if you want to get this offer. Just $1.83 per month to get a 3-year subscription by clicking the link in the description below.
Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter use her college fund for a wedding or house? Backstory. I, 43 female, have 4 kids. L, 22 female, Katie, 17 female, Cam, 15 male, Isla, 5 female, and I'm also currently pregnant. Me and my husband, 50 male, started adding to college funds every month for each of our kids pretty much as soon as we found out we were pregnant. I won't say the exact amount, but my husband has an excellent job, so it's more than most. We never told our kids because it just didn't feel necessary. Elle got pregnant when she was 16 and ended up dropping out of school. I was very disappointed, but I understood. However, I was under the impression she would return later, but she has no plans to. The dad stuck around and now they have 1 more kid, 3, and 1 on the way. They are engaged but don't plan to marry until they can afford it. They were doing okay financially for a while, but due to the market right now they've been struggling because Elle can't get a job since she doesn't have a diploma, so we've been loaning them money. Katie is a senior and just got accepted into college. We've been setting everything up and obviously she knows about the fund now. Katie and Elle were talking and she was telling Elle about the school and Elle asked how she was planning on paying for it. Katie responded, "My college fund." I was in the room while they were talking and this made me panic. We had just planned on splitting it between the remaining 4 since we knew they were going to college. Elle asked me if they all had one and I wasn't going to lie, so I said yes. She got really excited and went to call her fiancé and tell him the good news. I was confused and told her she couldn't have the money. She asked why and I said it's for school. She got upset and left my house. The next day I get a call from Elle. She was crying and begging me to let her have the funds so she could finally afford a down payment and maybe even a wedding. I told her she could have the money if she went back to school and whatever money was left over she could use for whatever she wanted. She got super mad and started yelling at me and saying it's her money. I told her that it was my money and those were my conditions and she hung up. Now we are being harassed by her fiancé's family. They aren't as fortunate as us, calling us assholes and a lot of other names. Saying it's all gonna go to waste if she doesn't use it, we're setting her up for failure, etc. Now I'm wondering if I'm the asshole because my dad said we should give her the money as we saved it for her after all, so am I the asshole? Info. We had just planned on splitting it between the remaining 4 since we knew they were going to college. You_know_ that your 5-yo and unborn future maybe kid are planning to go to college? Not the asshole. A GED is affordable and doable. She's choosing to keep having kids she can't afford. She doesn't need a wedding, she needs a reality check. If she was putting forth minimal effort to better her life, it would be reasonable to ask for some money. A fancy party does nothing to feed and clothe her kids. You offered her what's left from the fund if she goes to school. She's decided that school isn't important, save her funds for the grandkids. Edited. In light of the OP's educational snobbery, you are the Yikes. Not the asshole. Choices have consequences. And you were specific about what it was for. Now here is a question. Would it also apply for trade school? Am I the asshole for yelling at another parent during pickup? I tried to type this out without using the name, and it wasn't comprehensible. So if anyone I know sees this, no you didn't. Here's what happened. My son's name is Robin. It's just those 5 letters. It's not a nickname. The mom of one of the kids in his class is convinced his name is Robert. She volunteers at pickup. I'll drive up and she'll go to get my son yelling, "Robert, Robert." Now, the first few weeks I brushed it off because learning the names of a bunch of different kids is hard. I would just tell her when she came back over with my son, actually his name is Robin. I've said this almost every single day for over a month now. Last week I saw her at a school function and went up and introduced myself and basically said, "I'm Robin's father. You might recognize me from pickup. By the way, his name isn't Robert." Her response confounded me. She said Robin is a girl's name, it's unisex, but it's way more common for boys, so what? And not a good nickname for Robert, so she'll call him his real name instead. I tried to correct her, since Robin isn't a nickname, but she wandered away. The next time she walked up to my car I got annoyed and said, "I'm here for Robin. Robin." She did it again. On Friday, when she called my son Robert, I asked her what her problem was in a very loud voice. I shouted loud enough that a teacher ran over. The volunteer mom ran away, and I tried to explain. The teacher looked at me like I had 3 heads and said she would go get my son. I got an email later asking me to come in Monday for a meeting. I don't know how to approach this. Should I apologize for yelling? Should I demand an apology for the constant disrespect? Should I ask the mom not be allowed to volunteer anymore, or at least not get my son? I feel like I tried to be reasonable, but maybe I was too sensitive? Small update. My wife did reach out to Charlie's mom on Facebook to ask if the weird pickup mom called Charlie by a different name as well. According to Charlie's mom, weird pickup mom calls Charlie Charlotte, and Charlie is her legal name, not that it matters. Charlie's mom is not a fan of this, but she assumed it was a mistake and didn't want to say anything because she knows pickup is hectic and confusing and there are a lot of kids with similar names. My wife shared my story, and Charlie's mom agreed to email me this information, so I could bring it up in the meeting if needed. Charlie's mom also said she would reach out to some other parents with questions about weird pickup mom. A lot of these kids went to kindergarten together, but our son did not, so we don't know many of these parents very well yet. Charlie's mom was really nice and helpful, and she and my wife even set up a playdate for our kids. So, regardless of how the meeting turns out, one nice thing came of this. Not the asshole. Email back. I look forward to meeting with you to discuss volunteer parent bullying my child and an appropriate course of action going forward to prevent this from continuing. Not the asshole. What is her problem? Does she do this to any other kids, whose names she decides are inappropriate? Not the asshole. Yes, I look forward to discussing this volunteer's persistent and odd behavior towards my child. Then go in and explain that the volunteer is calling your child by a different name, repeatedly, and disregarding you and your child. It's strange behavior and troubles you. You apologize for your reaction but won't apologize for defending your child from an adult who oversteps. Am I the asshole for pressuring my dad to pay for my girlfriend's phone repairs? Throwaway account. My girlfriend, Serena, and I have been together for 2.5 years. She's lovely and I can't imagine not spending my life with her. Most of my family, but especially my dad, loves Serena. It's sweet to watch them interact, and it's very obvious that he's very fond of her. A few months ago, my dad and Serena went on a hike on a mountains trail. According to Serena, my dad was holding Serena's phone trying to take a picture of the view, and accidentally dropped it. He dropped it over the cliff, so it took her almost an hour trying to locate it, and when she did, it was cracked terribly. It was no longer usable and basically hanging on a thread. My dad apologized profusely and kept stressing about his slippery fingers. When this happened, Serena wasn't too mad and I got her a new phone. My dad seemed apologetic and I was more than willing to get Serena a new phone, so I didn't think much of it. A few weeks ago, my dad, Serena, and I went on a run. Midway through my dad remembered that he was late for something, and asked Serena for her phone to call a taxi. While he was taking the call, he dropped the phone, cracking her screen and her screen protector. It was not as bad as the first time, but still pretty bad. He apologized once more and Serena wasn't too upset. She paid for her own repairs and told him that everything was all right. A few days ago, Serena and I were at a family dinner, and my dad accidentally dropped Serene's phone into a bowl of hot water. Serene doesn't remember giving it to him and he claims that he knocked it into the sink. At this point, I'm annoyed. Serena is a very careful person and she's dealt with more than enough phone troubles in the last year. Serena politely asked him to pay for the repairs, and he refused, telling her that he was a poor old man that made a small accident. I stoked in and told him that he should pay for it considering that it's his fault that this happened. He declined and made a fuss about how his wealthy son is exploiting him for money. Serena and I had to leave early. Serena has already paid to get her phone fixed, but I'm still pressuring him to pay her back. A few of my family members think that I shouldn't make this my hill to die on. Not the asshole once is an accident, 3 times is starting to seem pretty deliberate. Not the asshole. At this point, are you sure your dad doesn't have something against your girlfriend? 'Cause the amount of times he accidentally dropped it is so weird, skull-like. Come on. Pressure him more, and ask him if he has a problem with her, 'cause it's just so odd. Not the asshole, the amount he drops this phone is odd. Are you sure your dad is not weirdly fucking with you guys who drop someone else's phone that many times? And the last time she doesn't even remember giving it to him? Your dad definitely is though. Info. Why does he keep borrowing her phone? Why doesn't he have his own phone? Am I the asshole for refusing to put my daughter's future stepdad on school emergency contact list? I'm going to make this short. I'm a single dad of 2 girls, 5 and 7. They go to the same school and their mom and I take turns in picking them up, dropping them off at Shawl. Their mom started dating this guy, Sean, exactly 4 months ago. He's moved in already and is living with the girls as well at their mom's place. I got a call from their mom the other day asking me for my approval to put Sean on the girls' school emergency contact list. I laughed at first thinking, WTF, you serious? The fuck should I do that for? She got pissed and said, well, he bought a new car. I asked what this have to do with it. She explained that she had to start working more and may not be available in case of an emergency and wants Sean to be able to act on her behalf if and when something happens. I said that if and when something happens, God forbid, then the last person I want acting in an emergency is her boyfriend of 4 months. I called her delusional and told her that she shouldn't put work over an emergency, basically her daughter's safety. FFS. She got more pissed and called me unhinged, jealous, uncooperative and nasty and said that I clearly don't have the girl's best interest at heart. I hung up, but she kept calling, then had her mom call me to tell me to do it and stop being petty just cause I don't like the guy who, by the way, is the girl's future stepdad. I've been getting heat from in-laws because of my refusal, which makes me want to reconsider, but I don't know and I don't feel comfortable with this request. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Boyfriend of barely 4 months moving into a household with 2 very young girls would set all my warning bells off. All of the statistics and averages about their safety would be telling me to legally intervene in this new setup, as in revisiting custody. At the very least, I'd have a background check done. But that's me. Woman shrugging. He might be a decent human being, but the mom is definitely not thinking critically. No way would I want this guy to legitimately have emergency pickup rights. He might become their stepfather in the future, but currently, he's just a boyfriend of an insignificant time frame who moved in very quickly. Not the asshole, she's only been dating him for 4 months and he already moved in with her? I'm sorry, but I gotta question the kid's safety in the mom's house cause those stories never seem to end well.